Coming to the shoulder joint dislocation clinical topics for orthopedic, there is a anterior shoulder joint dislocation which is most common. Most common is anterior shoulder joint dislocation. It is 98% case. The anterior shoulder joint dislocation is much more common. So the most common subtype of that anterior dislocation of the shoulder joint is the subcoracoid dislocation. Especially when the balls are thrown vigorously, this is an example of the anterior shoulder joint dislocation. So what is the mechanism of injury? Abduction and the external rotation of the shoulder joint. So if there is a external rotation of the shoulder joint along with the abduction of the shoulder joint, there is a anterior shoulder joint dislocation. But in the posterior shoulder joint dislocation, the shoulder joint is adducted with internally rotated. In inferior shoulder joint dislocation, the shoulder joint is hyper abducted. So this is the main difference, that is in the anterior shoulder joint dislocation, which is the most common type of shoulder joint dislocation, is the abduction and the external rotation of the shoulder joint, which is seen in the ball thrown vigorously by the bowler. It is much more painful, and the X-ray, we have to do X-ray. So AP and lat, anteroposterior view and lateral view, we will see there is a electric bulb sign and the empty glenoid sign. So there is a electric bulb sign, there is a empty glenoid sign. So what are the clinical tests we have to do? First is Dugas test, that is inability to touch the opposite shoulder. The patient will unable to touch the opposite shoulder. Suppose if a patient has shoulder dislocation of the right shoulder, he cannot touch the left shoulder. Similarly, Callaway's test, where there is a per axillary palpation of the head of the humerus. Per axillary palpation of the head of the humerus. And the Hamilton ruler test, where a ruler is placed, touch both the acromion and the lateral condyle simultaneously. Acromion process and the lateral condyle simultaneously. So what are the complications? First, there is a recurrent shoulder dislocation. Second, immediate complication is the axillary nerve injury. Circumflex branch of the axillary nerve is injured. So what will be the management? There should be a close reduction, either by Hippocrates technique or Hippocrates method, Stenson gravity technique, or the modified Koch's technique. In modified Koch's technique, there is a TAI, that means traction with external rotation and the abduction with internal rotation. Now coming to the recurrent shoulder dislocation. Recurrent shoulder dislocation by the scientist Matson, Matsons classify this as a torn loose or a bond loose. If there is a torn loose, then that means there is a trauma. So anteriorly, if there is a trauma, unidirectional anterior trauma to the shoulder joint, which may be Banker's lesion or maybe Hill-Sachs lesion. If there is a Banker's lesion, that means there is an antero-inferior avulsion of the glenoid labrum, which is most common, the Banker's lesion. What is Hill-Sachs lesion? In Hill-Sachs lesion, there is a posterolateral aspect of the head of the humerus, there is a bony defect. So in the posterolateral aspect of the head of the humerus, there is a bony defect, and as a result there is a repetitive impactation against the glenoid. So there is a repetitive impactation against the glenoid. This is known as Hill-Sachs lesion. Hill-Sachs lesion is the second most common. So what is the treatment? Arthroscopic surgery is the treatment. Arthroscopic surgery. Now coming to the posterior shoulder joint dislocation, recurrent posterior shoulder joint dislocation, there is a reverse Banker's lesion and reverse Hill-Sachs lesion. A reverse Banker's lesion, there is a posterior inferior avulsion. So there was a antero inferior avulsion. Now there will be a posterior inferior avulsion Banker's lesion, recurrent, of the glenoid labrum. And reverse Hill-Sachs lesion, there will be anteromedial. In Hill-Sachs lesion, anterior dislocation recurrence, there was a posterolateral head of the humerus defect. But here the head of the humerus is defect anteromedially. It is known as Truff sign. Now what are the tests which are to be done in the bond loose? If there is a bond loose, that means there is a multidirectional atraumatic multidirectional. So there is a Fulcrum test, which is for the anterior instability, to check the anterior instability. There is a jerk test to test the posterior instability, and there is a sulcus test to check the inferior instability. These are all the recurrent shoulder joint dislocation, to check the recurrent shoulder joint dislocation. So here I have to do the MRI, and the rehabilitation is the first treatment of choice is the rehabilitation. For the isometric rotator cuff strengthening exercise, we have to give the isometric rotator cuff strengthening exercise. And now the internal capsule closure is the surgery. So the surgery is internal capsule closure. So coming to rotator cuff tear, the second clinical important thing is the rotator cuff tear. Rotator cuff tear is basically seen in the male patient with young. If it is young male patient having the 20 to 30 years of age, suppose the right shoulder, the rotator cuff muscle, that is supraspinatus, infraspinatus, the subscapularis and the teres minor are tear. Then if those muscles are torn, then there is a suppose right shoulder, there is a pain and the swelling of the right shoulder. So we have to do an examination whether the patient can initiate its abduction of the shoulder movement, shoulder joint or not. Why? Because supraspinatus muscle helps in the 0 to 15 degree initiations of the shoulder joint. So we have to examine that. Now the investigation of choice is USG or MRI. In acute trauma case, the treatment of choice is arthroscopic rotator cuff repair. Arthroscopic rotator cuff repair. So arthroscopic rotator cuff repair in the acute traumatic case. Now if the patient is more than, that means 10 plus, that means 20 to 30 years was that young adult, now the patient is adult of 30 to 40 years. So MRI should be done. If the MRI we see that there is a irreparable chronic rotator cuff tear, then what will be the treatment of choice? Arthroscopic rotator cuff tendon transfer using the deltoid and the biceps. So biceps and deltoid tendons are used for the rotator cuff muscle tendon to be transferred. So it is arthroscopic method. And now the 40 to 50 years per person, the investigation of choice is the if we see there is we have to do the MRI. If there is a irreparable chronic rotator cuff tear with secondary glenohumeral arthritis, then the treatment of choice is the reserved shoulder arthroplasty. So this is the rotator cuff tear. Okay, so this is all about the clinical aspect of the shoulder joint. I have discussed the shoulder joint anatomy as well as the clinical aspect of the shoulder joint. So thank you.